Hip-hop fans, the streets are buzzing, and the internet can't stop talking because a bombshell just dropped. Rumors of a secret love affair between Fat Joe and Remy Ma have exploded online, and the twist: Papoose has allegedly uncovered old hotel footage that could change everything. Could this be the ultimate betrayal, hidden in plain sight all these years? Or is this just another scandal shaking the foundation of hip-hop's most powerful alliances? Buckle up, because this story is about to get explosive. The hip-hop world has seen its fair share of scandals, betrayals, and jaw-dropping revelations. But nothing could have prepared fans for the storm currently swirling around Fat Joe, Remy Ma, and Papoose. The headline alone is enough to shake the culture. A secret love affair between Fat Joe and Remy Ma allegedly exposed, with whispers of old hotel footage coming into play, footage that Papoose himself is rumored to have discovered. But how did we get here? How did two of hip-hop's most loyal allies, who have stood side by side for decades, suddenly find themselves at the center of an explosive cheating scandal? To understand the magnitude of this revelation, you have to go back to the roots of Fat Joe and Remy Ma's relationship. These two have been inseparable since the early 2000s, when Fat Joe discovered Remy's raw talent and brought her into the Terror Squad family. Their bond was built on trust, loyalty, and music. Tracks like Lean Back immortalized their chemistry, while interviews over the years painted them as brother and sister in hip-hop. Fat Joe was often credited with standing by Remy through her darkest times, including her prison sentence, and Remy never failed to call him family. That's what makes these rumors so shocking. Because if the whispers are true, that brother-sister bond may have been hiding something much more complicated and much more dangerous. Enter Papoose, Remy Ma's husband and one of the most respected rappers in the game when it comes to loyalty and devotion. For years, fans have celebrated Papoose as the ultimate ride-or-die partner. The man who held Remy down during her incarceration. The man who turned their love story into one of hip-hop's most cherished romances. Together, Papoose and Remy became a symbol of resilience, proving that true love could survive anything. So when rumors began surfacing that Papoose had discovered old hotel footage linking Remy and Fat Joe to a possible affair, the internet exploded. Could it be true? Did Remy betray the man who sacrificed so much for her? Did Fat Joe cross a line that would forever shatter their bond? The story gained momentum after a cryptic post began circulating on social media, an account allegedly tied to someone in Fat Joe's old entourage claimed that the truth always comes out, and hinted at hotel receipts and tapes from back in the early 2010s. The account didn't stop there. It tagged Papoose directly, almost daring him to respond. Within hours, rumors spread that Papoose had quietly confronted Remy about the footage, and that his silence was more telling than any words could be. Fans immediately jumped into speculation mode. Some pointed out the undeniable chemistry between Fat Joe and Remy Ma, noting that their interviews were often filled with laughter, inside jokes, and a closeness that seemed to go beyond friendship. Others pushed back, arguing that their relationship was strictly platonic and that people were twisting years of loyalty into something scandalous. But the hotel footage claim changed everything. If proof existed, if even a hint of footage showed something inappropriate, the damage would be irreparable. Papoose, who has built his entire image around loyalty, would be devastated. And Fat Joe, whose credibility in the culture relies heavily on loyalty and respect, would see his reputation crumble overnight. The blogs wasted no time fueling the fire. Headlines screamed about betrayal. YouTubers analyzed old clips of Fat Joe and Remy performing together, and Twitter was ablaze with debates. If Fat Joe really did this, he's finished, one user wrote. Another added, "I don't believe it until I see it. But if Papoose got that footage, it's a wrap." Meanwhile, neither Fat Joe nor Remy Ma has made an official statement, which has only added to the chaos. Silence in situations like this often speaks louder than words. If there was nothing to the rumor, why not deny it outright? Why not shut it down before it spirals out of control? Instead, both have remained quiet, leaving fans to piece together the puzzle themselves. Insiders claim Papoose is furious. While he hasn't gone public, sources close to the couple say he feels betrayed, blindsided, and humiliated. One source allegedly told a gossip site, "Pap has always been the one to protect Remy, to shield her from negativity. But this is different. If the footage is real, it means everything he believed in was a lie." But let's step back for a moment. Could this entire scandal be a setup? Could someone be deliberately trying to tear apart one of hip-hop's most respected friendships and one of its strongest marriages? Some fans believe so. They argue that Fat Joe and Remy's bond has always been misinterpreted by outsiders and that the timing of this so-called footage seems suspicious. After all, why would hotel tapes from over a decade ago suddenly surface now? Still, the damage is done. Even without hard evidence, the rumor has already planted seeds of doubt. And in the world of celebrity culture, perception often matters more than reality. Whether true or not, the very idea of Fat Joe and Remy crossing that line has shaken fans to their core. For Papoose, this may be the hardest test yet. Known for his calm demeanor and level head, he's now being pushed into the spotlight with the entire hip-hop community watching his every move. Will he stand by Remy once again, brushing off the rumors as baseless gossip? Or will this be the moment that even Papoose can't forgive? And what about Fat Joe? His silence is deafening. This is a man who has always been outspoken, always ready to address controversy head-on. Yet now, as the internet demands answers, he's nowhere to be found. Could it be guilt? Could it be strategy? Or is he simply letting the storm pass, confident that the truth will clear his name? Part 1 ends here, but the story is just heating up. The alleged hotel footage is the smoking gun everyone is talking about, and if it surfaces, it could change everything. For now, all we have are rumors, silence, and a hip-hop community divided between disbelief and betrayal. Because if this affair is real, it won't just destroy a marriage, it could unravel decades of trust, loyalty, and friendship that defined an era of hip-hop. Part 1 set the stage with the shocking allegations, but Part 2 dives into the heart of the storm, the reactions, the whispers of hotel footage, and the ripple effects that are shaking the foundations of hip-hop loyalty. Because this isn't just about scandal anymore. This is about trust, betrayal, and reputations built over decades now hanging in the balance. As soon as rumors of Papoose discovering old hotel footage began circulating, fans went into detective mode. Screenshots, old interviews, and red carpet moments between Fat Joe and Remy Ma resurfaced as internet sleuths tried to connect the dots. Some pointed out how Fat Joe always seemed extra protective of Remy, pulling her clothes at events, stepping in during interviews, even going out of his way to call her his sister whenever rumors surfaced in the past. For many, the sudden defensiveness raised more questions than answers. Others defended their bond. "Not everything is scandal," one fan tweeted. "Joe put his career on the line for Remy when she was locked up. That's loyalty, not lust." But skeptics shot back. Loyalty is one thing, sneaking into hotels is another. Where there's smoke, there's fire. The alleged footage became the centerpiece of the conversation. Nobody has seen it yet, but the claim alone has been enough to ignite a cultural firestorm. According to whispers, the footage dates back nearly a decade. During the time when Remy had just been released from prison and her career was being rebuilt with Fat Joe's help. If true, this timeline makes the rumors even messier. Why? Because that was the exact period when Papoose was hailed as the devoted husband who stayed by her side through everything. If Remy crossed the line, then it rewrites the love story fans have idolized for years. Papoose himself has remained publicly silent. But insiders are painting a picture of a man torn apart. One anonymous source claimed, "Pap feels humiliated. He put Remy on a pedestal for the whole world to see. He sacrificed for her, loved her unconditionally." To even hear whispers of this kind of betrayal, it's devastating. And if that footage is real, it's a nightmare. But Pap's silence has also fueled speculation. Normally quick to defend Remy against rumors, refusal to shut this one down suggests he may actually be grappling with something bigger. Could it be that he's already seen the footage? Could it be that the rumors aren't just rumors anymore? Meanwhile, hip-hop culture is divided. Podcasts and YouTube channels are in overdrive, turning this into the biggest discussion since the Offset-Cardi cheating scandals. But this one, cheating scandals, feels different. Why? Because it involves loyalty at its deepest level. Fat Joe and Remy weren't just collaborators, they were family. Papoose and Remy weren't just a couple, they were the ultimate relationship goals. For both bonds to be shattered in one scandal is almost unthinkable. And that's why fans are angry. Not just disappointed, but angry. Many feel betrayed themselves, as though the image they supported, the love story they celebrated, was a lie all along. We believed in Pap and Remy. One Instagram comment read, "We rooted for them because they were real." If this is true, everything was fake. Fat Joe's camp has reportedly gone into damage control mode. Insiders claim he's been reaching out privately to friends and media outlets, insisting the rumors are baseless. But the problem is, no official statement has been made. And in the age of social media, silence equals suspicion. Every hour that goes by without a denial only adds fuel to the fire. Remy, too, has remained quiet, and fans are dissecting her Instagram. A cryptic story post with the, quote, "Some things don't need explanations. The truth always reveals itself," only made things worse. Was it a denial? A warning? Or an admission that something is about to come to light? Nobody knows, but everyone is guessing. The cultural conversation is shifting too. For years, Remy Ma was seen as the strong, loyal woman who survived prison, rebuilt her career, and maintained a rock-solid marriage with Papoose. If this scandal sticks, her image could take a massive hit. Fans may no longer see her as the devoted wife, but as someone who betrayed the very man who gave her unconditional support. As for Papoose, could be the breaking point. His brand has always been built on loyalty, love, and family. If the affair is proven, he will face a choice: stand by Remy and risk looking like a fool in the eyes of the public, or walk away from the marriage that has defined his image for over a decade. Either option carries heavy consequences. Then there's Fat Joe, the man who's prided himself on loyalty, who has built his career on respect within the culture, now finds his credibility hanging by a thread. If it's revealed he betrayed Papoose, his reputation as a real one could vanish overnight. And in hip-hop, once your credibility is gone, it rarely comes back. Some fans are already dragging up old interviews where Fat Joe spoke passionately about loyalty, claiming his words now ring hollow. He always preached about keeping it real. One viral tweet read, "If this is true, he's been lying to us for years." The industry impact can't be ignored either. Fat Joe and Remy have been booked together countless times for shows, interviews, and projects. If the scandal destroys their dynamic, promoters, labels, and even networks could back away. Nobody wants to invest in a duo overshadowed by whispers of betrayal. But here's the twist. What if the footage is fake? What if this entire scandal is built on lies, fabricated by someone desperate for clout? That possibility still exists. And yet, the damage has already been done. Because whether the footage is real or not, the court of public opinion has already delivered its verdict, and it doesn't look good. Fans are demanding receipts. Hashtags are trending, and gossip pages are raking in millions of views dissecting every detail. And until someone, Fat Joe, Remy, or Papoose, comes forward with the truth, the speculation will only grow. Papoose, the man who once embodied unshakable loyalty, is now seen as a betrayed husband. Remy Ma, once celebrated for resilience, is now painted as unfaithful. Fat Joe, once the culture's loyal big brother, is now accused of breaking the ultimate code. That's the tragedy of this scandal. No matter the outcome, nobody walks away clean. But the real question remains, will the footage actually surface? If it does, the hip-hop world could witness one of its biggest implosions ever. If it doesn't, fans will forever wonder what really happened behind closed doors. And that's where part 2 leaves us, in a storm of suspicion, anger, and unanswered questions. The hotel footage hangs like a sword over their heads. And until the truth is revealed, Fat Joe, Remy Ma, and Papoose will remain trapped in the eye of the storm. Because in hip-hop, loyalty is everything. And once it's questioned, it can never fully be restored. If part 2 left us with unanswered questions and suspicion, part 3 is where everything comes to a boiling point. Because the whispers about the old hotel footage are no longer just background noise. They're front and center, threatening to detonate the lives, marriages, and careers of everyone involved. And the scariest part, this scandal doesn't just involve 3 people. It's spilling out into an entire culture, shaking the very foundation of loyalty in hip-hop. For days, fans have been speculating, piecing together timelines, connecting dots, and digging into archives. But then, the unthinkable happened. Word spread that the alleged hotel footage wasn't just a rumor anymore. A clip, said to be less than 30 seconds, reportedly made its way into private group chats and closed forums. While it hasn't yet hit the mainstream, insiders swear that what they saw was undeniable. A grainy video of Remy Ma and Fat Joe entering a hotel suite together late at night. The date stamp, nearly a decade ago. Now, let's be clear, the video hasn't been verified. Some say it could easily be edited, staged, or taken out of context. But in the ruthless world of social media, perception is reality. The second whispers of the leaked clip surfaced. Hashtags exploded, hashtag Remy exposed, hashtag Fat Joe betrayal, and hashtag PAPOOSE knows all began trending within hours. Papoose, who had stayed silent all along, could no longer ignore it. He reportedly confronted Remy in private, demanding answers. According to one insider, it wasn't a fight. It was worse than a fight. Pap looked broken. He asked her straight up if it was true, and she didn't give him the clear denial he wanted. That's when he knew. Something had happened. Maybe not the way people are saying, but something. For fans, this revelation shattered everything. The love story of Papoose and Remy Ma wasn't just about 2 people. It was symbolic. It represented loyalty in the darkest times, a marriage that survived prison, fame, and pressure. Pap became a symbol of devotion, a black man who stood by his wife when the world turned against her. To imagine that love story tainted by betrayal, it was like losing hope in love itself. And yet, some fans turned their anger not on Remy, but on Fat Joe. After all, he was the friend, the brother figure, the one who was supposed to protect her marriage, not endanger it. You don't mess with your friend's wife, one viral post declared. That's not just a betrayal, that's war. Indeed, for Papoose, the sense of humiliation wasn't just about his wife. It was about a man he considered family crossing a line. In hip-hop, where loyalty and respect define everything, this was the ultimate violation. Meanwhile, Fat Joe's silence grew louder. Rumors claimed he'd been making frantic phone calls trying to bury the footage before it spread any further. Some suggested money was exchanged to keep the clip under wraps, while others claimed it was too late, that the video was already in the hands of gossip blogs, just waiting for the right moment to drop it. The industry impact was immediate. Bookings for Fat Joe and Remy Ma together reportedly began to stall, with promoters hesitant to bring the duo into the spotlight amidst the controversy. Brands quietly stepped back, unwilling to tie themselves to a scandal that could erupt at any second. Even artists who once shouted out Fat Joe as a mentor began keeping their distance, wary of being dragged into the storm. But the biggest ripple effect was personal. Papoose, for the first time, seemed to step back from his role as Remy's public defender. No more Instagram posts celebrating their love. No more captions about loyalty. Instead, his silence spoke volumes, fueling speculation that he was ready to walk away. Pap always carried himself with dignity. One fan wrote, "If he leaves, it won't be with drama. It'll be with class." But make no mistake, he's done. And what about Remy? This scandal leaves her in the most precarious position of all. On one hand, she's a celebrated rapper, a woman who fought her way back into relevance after prison. On the other, her brand has always been tied to her authenticity, being real, being loyal, being strong. If the footage is real, or even just believed to be real, it undermines that entire image. The very thing that made fans root for her could now be used against her. Some supporters argued she deserves forgiveness. People make mistakes, one fan said. Pap stood by her before, and maybe he'll stand by her again. But others were ruthless. You don't cheat on a man who held you down while you were locked up. That's unforgivable. Then there's the question of legacy. For Fat Joe, decades of respect in the game could vanish overnight. For Remy, her marriage, once a shining example of black love, could crumble publicly. And for Papoose, his image as the loyal husband could turn into that of a betrayed man who was played by the very people he trusted most. The gossip world. Thrive. Scenario 1. The footage never fully leaks, and everyone involved denies, downplays, or deflects until the public loses interest. But even then, the scars remain. The rumors will never die. And trust within this trio may never be restored. Scenario 2. The footage surfaces in full, undeniable clarity. If that happens, it's not just careers at risk, it's families. Papoose may file for divorce. Fat Joe's standing in hip-hop could plummet. Remy Ma's reputation could take a blow from which she might never fully recover. And then there's scenario 3. Maybe, just maybe, the footage is fake. A cruel fabrication designed to tear apart lives. If that's the case, this scandal will go down as one of the most vicious hoaxes in hip-hop history. But the problem is, even if proven false, the damage is already done. Doubt has been planted. The idea of betrayal is out there, and it will never fully go away. Because that's the nature of the internet. Once something goes viral, the truth is almost irrelevant. Perception becomes reality. And reality becomes whatever the people believe. As the days turn into weeks, fans are still glued to their screens. Waiting, refreshing, hunting for the truth. Will the footage drop? Will Papoose speak? Will Fat Joe finally break his silence? Or will Remy herself step forward and address the